We are on YouTube now. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Amrish Prabhu. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhu. Thank you, Her Grace Punya Pragna Devi Dasi Mataji, and thank you, His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhu, for giving us opportunity and keeping an eye on our activities. That's what we do. Yes, today's verse is very important. Now, Krishna is starting answering to all those questions which Arjuna was asking this chapter after seeing the universal form. So, verse is like this. Mate vyatha ma cha vimuna bhavo drishtva rupam ghoram midrina mamedam vapeta prita mana punastvam tadeva me rupam idam prapasya. Mate vyatha ma cha vimuna bhavo drishtva rupam ghoram midinam mamedam vapeta prita manah punastvam tadeva me rupam idam prapasya. Mate vyatha ma cha vimuna bhavo drishtva rupam ghoram idamamedam vapeta prita mana punastvam tadeva me rupam idam prapasya. Translation synonyms purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ma, let it not be te unto you vyatha, trouble. Ma, let it not be cha, also vimudha bhavah, bewilderment, drishtva, by seeing, rupam, form, ghoram, horrible, idrik, like this, mama, my, idam, as it is, vapethavihi, just become free from all fear. Prita mana, be pleased in mind. Punaha, again, tvam, you, tat, that, eva, thus, me, my, rupam, form, idam, this, prapasya, just see. Let it not be unto you trouble. Let it not be also bewilderment by seeing form, horrible like this. My, as it is, just become free from all fear. Be pleased in mind. Again, you, that, thus, my, form, this, just see. Your mind has been perturbed upon seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Purport. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona, his worshipful grandfathers and masters. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfathers. When they tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. Krishna showed his universal form to Arjuna just to show him that these people were already killed for their unlawful action. That scene was shown to Arjuna because devotees are always peaceful and they cannot perform such horrible actions. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. A devotee is not much interested in the universal form, for it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. A devotee wants to offer his respectful worshipping feelings. Thus, he wants to see the two-handed or four-handed Krishna from so he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Gurudev. So, Krishna is pacifying Arjuna after his bewilderment and giving his argument also. And then Prabhupada further explaining the purport that why he's doing this. What was the reason for showing the universal form and what is happening to Bhishma, what is going to happen to, in fact, what has happened to Bhishma and Drona. So that is how Krishna reciprocates with devotees, and that's how devotees reciprocate with Krishna. So I'll again read the translation. Your mind has been purport upon seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished, my devotee be free from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. So Krishna is very clearly saying here that this form is horrible form. But for a non-devotee, or even for somebody who doesn't know Krishna, they are probably more attracted to Krishna's form, universal form, and they cannot think beyond it. And that's why they are always perturbed and they are fearful. Maharaj has said that soul is eternally fearful if they're not Krishna conscious. And that's why Krishna is saying that let it be finished now. You come to your original consciousness and be free from disturbance, because that's a disturbance for a devotee. But somehow we start enjoying this universal form. And Krishna is saying that, Krishna is saying that with a peaceful mind, you can now see the form of your desire. So Arjuna has already has said that what he wants to see. So when I read or try to study Bhagavatam whenever I get time, and in Bhagavatam, I always share my realizations that Bhagavatam is very hard to understand. It's hard to understand because understanding Krishna's understanding Krishna and our constitutional position, particularly what Krishna is saying, because there are so many stories, so many pastimes, so many type of activities that understanding Krishna is really hard. That's my realization. It's very easy to miss those points. Now, when I was studying Canto 4 or Bhagavatam, and I was studying the pastimes of Prithu Maharaj. And Prithu Maharaj, I'm talking about that yajna he was doing, and when Indra came, and all those pastimes happens, and after that Lord Brahma came, even Lord Vishnu also appears, and they all preach to Prithu Maharaj about what should we do and what should happen and what is the situation and all those things. So very nicely written, and there are a lot of confusing part also if somebody doesn't understand. But that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that after that, 4 Kumaras also come into them to meet Prithu Maharaj. And when they start answering question to Prithu Maharaj actually asked question that why soul get bewildered. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 verses, and what happens? And the same basic answers are given at that highest level, where Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, all those great personalities. And when I study those Maharajas, read those Maharaj instructions or Prabhupada instructions, and then I realize that whatever level you are, the instructions remain same. And I read one of them. In fact, there are many of them which they are so we keep repeating those same thing. And even at the highest level, the same instructions are given. And Maharaj is always today's post, previous days post. They're all same. And I never understood actually their Bhagavatam. Yeah, in fact, in our prayers we sing Bhagavatam. Maharaj said that is Bhagavatam what we sing the prayer after our program. So I would quickly like to share one verse from the same chapter, which actually Sanat Kumar have started answering those questions, and they're very nicely explained. And then Prabhupada writes very nicely same points. So repeating the same points again and again, at whatever level Bhagavatam is studying, the philosophy remains same. Even the core philosophy remains same, and even realizations remain same. But the problem is that I get disfocused. I probably don't understand. So the verse I'm going to refer. भ्रस्यति अनुस्मृतिश्चित्तम् ज्ञानभ्रंशः स्मृति क्षये तद्रोधं कवयः प्राहुर् आत्मापहवनम् आत्मनः. Translation: when one deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position or recognize his present one. When remembrance is lost, all knowledge acquired is based on a false foundation. When remembrance is lost, all knowledge required is based on a false foundation. When this occurs, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. So this is the concluding part where Sant Kumar is actually answering the questions. And same situation here with Arjuna also. He forgets his situation. He is fearful of his situation, and Krishna is in consoling him and showing his form and bringing the devotee back to his original situation after getting horrified. Well, again, read the translation. When one deviates from his original consciousness, he loses the capacity to remember his previous position or recognize his present one. That's forgetful, that's ignorance, whatever you want to call it. And when remembrance is lost, all knowledge acquired is based on a false foundation. So if you don't know our constitutional position or we don't know the situation, all knowledge acquired is based on a false foundation. We remain bewildered. And when this occurs, learned scholars consider that the soul is lost. That the situation where we forget and we are fearful, and same situation what Arjuna is describing here. So that's what I wanted to share today, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, Vinashashan Prabhuji, for your very nice realization, as usual. So we are doing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse 49. Mate Vithamacha Vimudabhavo Drishtvaramidam Mamedham Rapeta Vipritamanapurasam Tad eva me rupamidam prapasya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your mind has been perturbed upon seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. So I just have made one or two points on this verse. And based on the purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai, just one or two things that really struck me. One thing was that, first of all, Arjun is worried about killing Bhishma and Drona because they are his worshipable grandfathers and masters. So, with respect to that, Arjuna is, because he's a pure devotee of the Lord. So, pure devotees of the Lord have the qualities of Devata, demigods. And so, he's considering his action, whether it's pious or impious. And in every action, Srila Prabhupada says that in every action, devotee will always consider whether this is a pious activity or is it an impious activity. Because pious will elevate one, and impious activity will is towards degradation. And we have to go through so many species, 8.4 million species. Out of that, 400,000 is human form, but 8 million species to come to human form of life. And so we have to be very serious when we get that human form of life, because the devotees of the pure devotees of Lord Krishna, they are always perfect. They are teaching us by example what we should be doing and how we should be behaving. So I take this as a example from Arjun, as how we should be thinking, how we should be behaving, how our activities should be. It's a guideline for us. It's like a manual. And there's a couple of things that struck me. So one point was that in every action, we have to think whether this action is going to elevate me or is it going to degrade me. Is it going to help me in my Krishna consciousness? This is what my Prabhuji, Amrish Prabhuji always mentions to us, at least to me, he's always said that, when you're doing anything or thinking anything, always think, is this helping me in my devotional service? So it's a very good benchmark for us, because before we do an action, we always think about it. So coming back to the point of having the human form of life after going through so many millions of species, it is very imperative that I have to value that form. And then from there, one fortunate soul may get that pure nectar of devotional service. Bahunam Janmanam Antim. So we have to value that, and what is done cannot be undone. So in counter to that, Lord Krishna is saying to Arjun, this is another instruction. When they tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. So there are different guidelines given in the scriptures as to when you can kill somebody. It's like when somebody burns your house or somebody kidnaps your wife. And of course, directly, Bhishma and Drona had not done anything to Draupadi, but indirectly, yes, by keeping quiet also, they were contributors to it. So this point also struck me very much, that how the responsibility and the onus falls upon us by not only doing the action, but by even participating as a third party, by not doing but keeping silent. That also can contribute to our degradation. And here Krishna is giving that they should be killed for that. So that is a very, very ghor aparad, again, for somebody to be killed. So these were the two things that I thought were for me to learn in my Krishna consciousness, that before I do any action, I have to consider whether it's going to help elevate my consciousness or degrade. And second thing is that if I am not doing anything wrong, also in that is included, I'm not witnessing or I'm not being silent when I see something is being done wrong, or because in that way also I'm contributing to that crime. So that is also negligence of duty. And the last point was that in this, that Krishna is also saying, giving Arjun, he wants to give his devotee the credit, because this is already destined that they will be killed. And Krishna always wants to give credit to his devotees. And so that's why he's requesting Arjun to kill them. And being very merciful and also reciprocative to his devotees, he wants to come back in the form which is more desirable to the devotees for doing devotional service. So the devotee is free from all disturbance. So Krishna takes personal responsibility. If we try to be Krishna's pure devotee, and if we are contributing in any small way, shape, or form, we are actually not contributing. It's only Krishna's mercy that, or we get that opportunity. Then Krishna makes us free from all the disturbances. And this is very, very inspiring and motivating, for anyone who is trying to do any small or big work, getting the opportunity to do anything in Krishna conscious activities. So, yeah, Hare Krishna, that is my realization.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you, His Grace Amrish Prabhuji, Her Grace Purna Pragya Devi Dasi Mataji, and His Grace Krishna Samarpan Krishna Prabhuji for organizing these classes on weekdays and giving us opportunity to share our realizations and training us. And thank you to Purna Pragya Mataji and Avinash Krishna Prabhu for very nice realizations. So we are on Bhagavad Gita chapter 11, verse number 49 today. Mate vyatha ma cha vimudh bhavo drishtva rupam ghor mirdam medam vyapet bhipreet manah punastvam tadev me rupamidam prapashya. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Your mind has been perturbed upon seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. my devotee, be free from all disturbance. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. So as we have discussed in the previous verses, that when Arjuna requested Krishna to show his four-armed form, and this universal form, which was very bewildering and also disturbing for him, and that's what devotees don't like. They just like the Saumya form of Krishna. So now Krishna is assuring here to Arjuna that he will again show his beautiful Narayan form, and then later his Shyam Sundar form to him as his friend he is. So here a few words very nicely describe the mental status of Arjuna, what he is thinking, what his emotions are here. So one of them is vyatha, trouble, vimudh bhava, bewilderment, ghoram, horrible. So all these words which is showing that how much bewilderment is there. And then the other words are vyapet bhi. So here Krishna assuring Arjuna, just become free from all fear. Don't get disturbed, just get peaceful. Preet manah, be pleased in mind. And so from that level, that anxiety level come to the level of peacefulness, and then beautiful form which Krishna is going to show him, that will get the peace upon Arjuna. And here we see that how Bhishma, Drona, and other great warriors and people in the assembly who were there, and then in front of them Draupadi was disrobed, and none of them said anything, as Punpragya Mataji has already shared, that they were silent. So they were doing a very this was not the etiquette that someone is getting disrobed, and all these great people whom she was looking towards, that they will save her, but they were not even saying a single word. They were so attached to their positions and vows and all those things. So that was very, very wrong. If something wrong is being done and everyone gets silent, that is not the right thing to do. And that's why Krishna is here telling Arjuna that those people, all the purpose to show the universal form was to assure Arjuna that the wrongdoing people are already killed. It's just that if Arjuna does his prescribed duty, he gets all the credits. And Mataji also shared that Krishna always gives credits to his devotees. Because in the universal form, we have seen that all these people were being crushed in Krishna's universal form, mouth, and all those things. Horrible things are being seen there. And then we see that Arjuna is very much bewildered. Is at the opposite side of the army. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 2, when Arjuna is bewildered and then he surrenders unto Krishna, and then he says that I am very confused, I don't know what to do. So so he says in chapter 2, verse number 7, Karparnya dosho pahata swabhava Prichhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta Yat shreyashat nishchitam brohitanni Shishyasteham shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. And when one is fully surrendered unto his guru's lotus feet, and then he gets the instructions from there, so all the bewilderment is gone, and that's what Krishna is doing here, just dissipating the bewilderment here. And because he's asking, because Arjuna is confused, and so we all are like that. Sometimes we get very, very confused, but if there is assurance, okay, someone is there to help us to take out of this mess. So that is a great um, uh, power of Krishna, which that mercy which runs towards us through our Guru Maharaj, all the Vaishnavas, and then that bewilderment is gone. So when we get confused and someone holds our hand and tells us this is wrong, this is right, you should not walk on that path, this is the right way you should go. So that mercy is always there in shelter of Guru Maharaj. And material nature is sometimes appears very ghastly, but for a devotee knows that it is all Krishna's creation, and even though he might get bewildered by the complexities of it and its effect, but sooner he gets his peaceful status again and becomes equipoised, because all is Krishna's supreme will, and whatever Krishna is doing is the best for a devotee. So that is the everything. We have to see Krishna's hand in everything. That is my take from this verse. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your wonderful realizations. And thank you, Matajis, for your on the point realization, which I very much appreciate. The thing is, all the points have been covered very nicely by all of you. I had some observations and some questions. This will help us to understand a little deeper the scriptures and philosophy and how to practically implement it, how to practically see the scriptures. These are the questions are raised for that reason. So here, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, you have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished, my devotee. Be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. And Srila Prabhupada wonderfully explains in the purports about the Bhagavad Gita, how it started, how Arjuna is bewildered. And very practically, Srila Prabhupada used an answer, which generally, if you're not practical, then we will not be able to put this in words, let alone think like this. See, a devotee, this also proves that Krishna protects his devotees. This particular verse has got many meanings, multiple meanings. Now, one point is that Krishna protects his devotees in this verse. It's not devotee, it's devotees. Here, Krishna is talking about pacifying Arjuna. He gets a little disturbed, quite disturbed. In fact, he's shivering, seeing the universal form of Krishna. It's a little hard to see universal form. Actually, ghastliness we see every day. We don't even care about it. Ghastliness. You see poverty, you don't care about it. You see people lying on the streets without eating, you walk past that person. Is it not ghastliness for us? Is it not the universal form of Krishna we are seeing according to someone's karma? Somebody is lying on the street without food, and we are going home to have our dinner or lunch. We ignore it. We move on. We see somebody has been killed, and we say, oh, is my family safe? Oh, my family is safe. Oh, I'm happy. You say, oh, I'm very sorry to hear about these people. And that's it. We don't give a second thought to this. We continue with our eating, sleeping, taking care of our family, and finished. Our life is over. This is how we lead life. This is material world. We think that we eat vegetables, vegetarian food, so we are very green people. Are we actually green people? If you grow vegetables, you will know. To grow vegetables, you have to kill so many living beings. Even when you pull out weeds from the garden, you become the boss and say, I'm pulling out this weed, this living being I'm going to kill, this living being I'm going to remain alive. So this is a very, very dangerous place we are living in. But if we use it for Krishna, then to that extent we are protected by Krishna. This point is what Prabhupada have been saying all throughout Prabhupada's preaching. That's why Prabhupada says, become fully Krishna conscious. This is the meaning of fully Krishna conscious. So that whatever activities that we are doing, whole activities should be dedicated to Krishna. Otherwise, you're pulling out weeds for making vegetables. Is it not killing? And you are deciding, this living being is bad, I'm going to pull it out. This living being is good, I'm going to make it survive. Because why? Because this living being is going to give me food to eat. How obnoxious is this? So the mercy of Srila Prabhupada teachings of Bhagavad Gita as it is can be understood if we go deeper on the subject matter to see that. But if we use it for Krishna 100%, not some percent, there's another foolishness we are doing. Some percent we think we are happy. What kind of life we are living? And we are saying that we are not in Golok Vrindavan still. Of course we will not be. Because it's dual life. Dual life. And here Krishna is talking about multiple devotees. That Srila Prabhupada explains. Second point now. Who are the multiple devotees? First is what Krishna is saying about Arjuna, which we understood. And to pacify Arjuna, Krishna now is showing the personal form. Correct. But there are also his devotees like Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev, Pitama. Are they not his devotees? Tell me. Please unswitch and tell me. Are they not his devotees?
They are devotees.
Yes,
Yes,
they are
devotees.
devotees. Yes.
Yeah, in fact, Bhishma Pitama is one of the 12 Mahajans.
So why don't we think like this, that then why is Prabhupada writing here that they have been killed? They are on the wrong side. This is how we must practically think. When Bhishma Dev was lying on the bed of arrows, he was waiting for Krishna to come, and Krishna came, and Krishna made him give instructions. Bhishma Dev, the great personality, which you have studied, in the Bhagavad. But because they had taken some wrong decisions, they had to be killed. So he has to take care of this devotee also, and Arjuna also, who is unwilling to fight, who has not killed anybody. You understand these categories of devotees here? And who are we talking about? I do not have even faintest of idea their devotional service in front of Krishna. And Mahajans and Guru Dron, who spiritual master of all the Pandavas, because they kept quiet, they had to be killed. So ordinarily, without thinking, immaturely we will think that, oh, they to be killed, then how can they can go back to Godhead? Why would Krishna go in front of them when they die, leave the body? Is it not so? This would be our thinking. This is our thinking. But here we're talking about these devotees also saved by Krishna and Arjuna also saved by Krishna. We understand this point? So how do you understand this paradox? This is a question. When Pandavas were facing all these troubles, Krishna was there with them. Correct? We sing such nice prayers of Kunti, and especially the instruction of Kunti Mata that give us only trouble. So that when trouble were there, you were with us. When trouble is finished, you are leaving. All these very nice points we understand, which is correct. We should also understand this point here. It's so deep, this subject matter. Who can answer this question? That Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya had to be killed because they did the wrong decision. They were on the wrong side. They kept quiet when disturbing took place. Only one personality spoke. He was nobody. Oh, he was the prime minister, of course, not nobody. He spoke and he left. Such a big anyay to the woman, offense, greatest of great offense to the woman. But still, Krishna gave them chance to go back to Godhead. Who can explain this? Can anyone explain this point, please? Just unmute and tell me. It is beyond me. It's just a question I'm raising. Please tell me.
I think it is only mercy, Prabhu. Otherwise, I can't understand beyond that.
I do not know myself also, mercy. And how can these personalities do these things? Did Bhishmadev did not know? It's an offense to him because he's the greatest, he is the grandfather of the family. So when such a big disobeying took place, and Prabhupada mentions this in the purport, it's got some meaning behind it. The insult goes to, yes, the king, 100%. It goes to Dhritarashtra. Even Dhritarashtra gets liberation. But ultimately, Bhishmadev kept quiet. He's authority. He's the greatest. Grandfather, oldest. He couldn't stop it. Why didn't he stop it? This is beyond me, beyond my capacity to think. And Guru Drona also, such a great personality. So the disciples are better off than the gurus. It is very hard for me to grapple this point.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please, please, please.
So I may
You
be
got a
like,
point, you know?
I just don't want to speculate on this point, but just when we were talking about this, like, we have to also understand that the Pandavas were also there and they also kept quiet. Isn't it?
Yeah.
They did
They were,
not.
no,
So,
Pandavas kept quiet, that's correct. The main is Yudhishthir Maharaj.
but
He had
yes,
no right,
yeah,
technically
yeah,
speaking, to
yes,
put the wife.
correct. And they were like, so essentially, I'm just thinking like in this whole thing, because this is an example where it's an example where Srila Prabhupada was asked, what is the definition of humbleness, humility? And Srila Prabhupada said that when we realize that no one in this world or in this creation can help us but Krishna. When we have that realization, that is humility. And that is not like what, everyone was expecting the answer, something, this and that and all that. And I feel the root of that is in this, because ultimately only Krishna saves. So the lesson is that even if you have powerful Pandavas, not one but 5 husbands, and the most powerful Pandavas as your husbands, still they cannot protect you, but only Krishna can protect you. Is that the message Krishna is trying to give here and everybody's role playing? Just from what I
Yeah.
read or
Mercy, first
heard.
answer is a road. Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah, just that one. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. At what point does the Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 30 apply in these situations? Because by that I mean the verse Apichet Sudurachara, which we've discussed plenty of times. Because Srila Prabhupada in that purport even mentions that those that are, there's like conditional and then there's transcendental activities. And in the conditional activities, right, if a person may commit some act which is socially or politically wrong, despite being in like Krishna consciousness, and we know that Bhishma was a Mahajan, and other people were exalted authorities as well. So they committed an act which is abominable in a social or political way. But then that does not disqualify them. That's what Prabhupada writes in the purport. So at what point do we just take this verse as the
Wonderful.
authority?
Wonderful point. Very, 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 very good point. You've given a Shastric answer to this. Very nice. This is the answer. He says, even if my devotee, apichetsu duracharo, no, even if you commit great offense, if he is steady again, he is considered saintly. Declare it boldly. So this is a point of mercy which Avinash will also raise. Mercy. But the depth of the mercy is answered by this verse. So there is a reason why I very much like the connecting of the verses for the answers. Now we have got a clear connection here. So here, on looking at this question, that the great authorities and great devotees, on one side it is Bhishmadev, Guru Dron, and all others, Kripacharya, all these personalities. Other side are Pandavas. This one incident that took place, because of which they had to be killed. But still they went back to Godhead. As devotees, they were not gone down. As devotees, they were not given up, given away. This is Krishna. This is the mercy of Krishna. And he promises himself. 9:30. And in Kali Yuga, this verse has been misused. Yeah. But again, at the same time, we must understand this point that Krishna also informed Arjuna in these verses to say that you declare, my devotee never perishes. Yet another verse. Why? Because if he says it, then it is done. Then Krishna cannot say that, okay, sorry, I changed my mind. Otherwise, Krishna is completely independent. You say something, but you say, I'll change my mind. What are you going to do about it? Yeah. So these verses we have to understand very much so and practically implement them. And what to speak about these Pandavas? Did Yudhishthira Maharaj did not know this is wrong? It's hard to understand, hard to believe he did not know. But it had to happen. So Krishna's plan is an actual answer, but it's a very simplistic answer. But if we go deeper on the subject like this, then we understand it's Krishna's plan. Then we will be appreciating the plan of Krishna. And then when we face with certain situations, we can see Krishna's hand in everything. You see? So this was my point in this verse when I studied by the mercy of Guru Maharaj, that we should have these angles, to think about. So we understood, yes, it is mercy and Krishna's plan. So how does it work? Scriptural injunctions you can see. And always remember this. With greatest of the great authorities also can make these mistakes. But a path of truth, if you hold on to, will always protect you. If you cannot fight it, then they left it. They left him there. Mahatma Vidhu raised the voice alone. And that's why he did not participate in the war. He did not even know. He just left. Yeah, and he left during the Kurukshetra war, All others participated. So with Krishna, his one actions has got multiple reactions and reasons behind it. As devotees, we have to work very hard to see Krishna's hand in everything that is happening. And Maharaj wants us to do this. This is the first instruction Maharaj gave me. Seeing Krishna's hand in everything. And even if we attempt it, that itself is very glorious. Yeah. So I just thought these few points I wanted to share. Thank you very much, Hare Krishna. If anybody else wants to say something on this, please feel free. Or if you have any questions, please feel free. Hare Krishna. Okay. So this predicament that we have raised in this point, this is answered in the verse number 30 and 31, that this is where the assurance is given by Krishna to all the devotees, where he says that apichet suduracharo bhayate mam ananya bhak sadhu revasya mantavya samayog vyavasito hi saha. Says even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. And then in the very next verse, Krishna gives that assurance, putting Arjuna in the middle, taking Arjuna's name, saying, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, shashvat chantim nigachati, kantaya pratijanihi, name bhakta pranashyati. Krishna says he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Hare Krishna. So we have come in touch with this personality who is Krishna, who is God. And if we really do not become Krishna conscious in this life, it'll be very shameful, It's a challenge for us. Such merciful personality. He says that even if you commit most abominable action, it's forgiven. If you come back righteous, you can come back to right things again, And he made the promises through his disciple, his devotee, Arjuna, so that he is bound by this promise. And we have seen the example of great acharyas, personalities in Mahabharata, Guru Drona, Bhishma Dev, that Prabhupada mentions that they have been killed. They had to be killed for their wrong actions, At the same time, Krishna gave them the whole mercy. So this paradox is understood by studying the scriptures. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Right then. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande.
Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Hare
thank you.
Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram Ram. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare.